Here I am, Lord, that guy's my brother. And whether you're going through good times or bad times, that guy's my brother. And so here I am, Lord, I gotta just be his brother. And that's not a really hard job, but you just gotta open yourself up and do it. Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord. Thank you so much for blessing me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to give back to the church.
Here I am, Lord. Here I am, use me how you want to use me. And that's such a great burden that God takes away from us, because it's hard to figure out what we're supposed to be doing every day and in our lives. And so it's so much better to tell God, use me how you want to use me, because I'm not sure how I'm going to be best able to serve you.
Here I am, Lord. It means you're turning your life over to God. Let Him direct you. It's God's will, not my will.
Here I am, Lord.
I guess I feel like all people are a way for God, a higher being, whatever you want to call him, to express the beauty of the divine. And so whenever I say, here I am, Lord, I think that that's me being one particular expression of the divine. And so I get really excited to be this expression, and there are millions and billions of expressions out there, and I'm excited to be one unique expression of that.
I'm here to do whatever I can to make the world a better place, and I just hope that I can find some way to use me. Here I am, Lord.
I give money because I get a spiritual and a social nourishment from the church that I feel like needs to be repaid.
So you give for a lot of reasons. And if it wasn't relevant, meaningful, and impactful, you wouldn't give. So we give.
I think the church needs for me to give to it. You know, there are other places I could give my money, but I feel like the church really needs for me to give to it, and that's why I do.
Young people assuming leadership positions, a lot of growing families, an excited and talented staff, and my part in all of this is to give money. And I think in combination, there's no telling what this church can do.
My money is, in my service, is to make sure that this church is here for a long time.
Our budget for 2009 is a little over $3.2 million, and that's just a little over a 5% increase over 2008. Our budget for mission is more than $259,000. For worship, it's over $160,000. Music is more than $354,000. Communications, about $121,000. Congregational care, $195,000. Education, $347,000. Administration, $640,000. The building, $837,000. And connectional ministries, about $225,000.
There's no such thing as free discipleship. There is a cost to all things that have value. And so in order to do the work of the church and to follow Jesus Christ, we know that it takes money. In the church, I encourage people to broaden their understanding of investment, because what we receive is the knowledge that we're following Christ, that we're making a difference, that we are being faithful.
To me, it's just like paying for your car, your house, or anything else. You ought to be able to learn to live on what you make, and you ought to learn to spread that out where it needs to go, and part of that is your religious affiliation. It's too bad that people don't pay that just like any other bill.
You see so much of how the church influences your children's lives and what role the church plays, and I think I've really come to realize that as my children get older and they start participating in activities, and I have friends who have older children here, and I see all the great things they do and just what really good people they are, and I'm told over and over it's because they're at this church.
It comes from the heart. You can't force it on people, but I mean, it's the least you can do for everything that God does for you in this church.
It's my family. This is the group of which I'm obligated
to give not only money, but my time and also myself.
I'm investing in the future, really, especially the children in the church and just the future of this downtown facility.
I would say this is a long-term deal. You kind of need to think in generational terms almost. And we need to leave the community in good shape for those who follow us as well.
So it's important for me that it's still there when my daughter is my age, and it's still there when her children are my age.
Our kids are growing up in the church, everybody, all the young adults, the parents, and on up. It's just a real loving place to be, so I can only hope that the future is very strong.
Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord. Here I am, Lord. Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord. I've certainly developed in the 12 years that I've been serving this first church at the corner of Harwood and Ross is a love for this church. I've fallen in love with the congregation and with the ministry and the history of this church. And so I'm very excited about being a part of forging a new future and looking ahead.